the expertise is not the issue. The value, the ability to help is not the issue. You could have such a wealth of knowledge and still be invisible. And I think that that's why what we're doing is so important, because at the end of the day, it's about your messaging, it's about your branding, it's about showing up in a way that's so authentic and so compelling that the right people want to be in your world. They want to learn from you.
I thought my expertise would just be enough. Like when I left corporate, I had a decade plus of experience. Like on paper, I had all the certification, skills, credentials, whatever. And I literally thought that not necessarily like people would line up to do business with me, but that there would be a steady flow of clients pretty quickly. And I never expected there to be such kind of a almost a bad reputation for a lot of the coaching industry, especially on Facebook. And there was just so much disbelief around like getting a coach. And then I posted in a way that demonstrated my skill, but I didn't know that I was supposed to like connect and talk about pain points and like how to actually get from, I know I can solve a problem, to someone saying, yes, I want to work with you, help me solve this problem for me. I did not know that there's like a million miles between the two. I so many times thought maybe I should have gone back to get a job. Maybe I should just go get a local job and support myself while I'm building the business that just not going anywhere. So it was just so many steps and slaps in the face of just trying things that were not working, even though I was investing in courses and I was paying attention and I thought I was applying it to the best of my skill. But it's really being there with someone in the weeds of pointing out, no, this is in detail how you need to write, how you need to talk so that it actually connects with people. And I was so far from that.
I was also on the same boat as you, where it was like, I'm great at mentoring people. I really want to help people, and I know that I'm called to do this. And I quit my job to do this, right? And then I got no clients. And then I was invisible. And it was just like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why is this not working? Like, I could do this all day with the people that I interact with, but online it's not happening the same way. And I've talked to many people, just like in my journey, and I've never met someone that you know the problem was the value. It's always just like the fact that when you get on social media, it's a completely different world. It's a completely different approach that you have to take. Like, I had 5,300 followers or something like that, and I still wasn't getting any clients, which is crazy,
Oh,
right? So it wasn't like I have followers and I have people. It was literally just like my messaging was not there. And so that's why I'm so excited for what we're doing, because it's like we have the wrong misconceptions and we have the wrong idea of what it takes to actually impact people online, actually get people to want to work with you. And I had the followers, I had the expertise, right? You have the expertise, you have the connections and the networks, but it's so much different, right? Like, we have to literally learn how to meet people where they are. And you can have such a wealth of knowledge and still be invisible. And I think that that's why what we're doing is so important, because at the end of the day, it's about your messaging, it's about your branding, it's about showing up in a way that's so authentic and so compelling that the right people want to be in your world. They want to learn from you.
wow. The thing that comes to mind is there are so many components that I never knew I had to learn. For example, there's, why so many people get frustrated with, oh, social media just doesn't work, or the algorithm just hates me, or something like that. And there are so many steps and components that you just need to do right. There were days initially when I was growing at 100 followers a day, and I thought, like, how hard is it going to be to get like one client a month? Like, I remember the conversation with my husband, like, how hard can it really be? And I did not know that for over a year, just like you described, like nothing or barely anything was happening. But um, you're trying to build an audience and monetize it at the same time. It does not work. So in person, you might go to a networking event, and if you do a great job at introducing yourself, people feel your energy.
Mhm.
That is a shortcut when you're directly in front of someone. But gaining trust on social media, I did not expect it to be that hard. And then you mentioned brilliantly, like being authentic, being yourself, but which version of that authentic? Like, obviously, you don't want the me that was in corporate. That doesn't help you. You don't resonate with that. You don't want the me that woke up this morning and had coffee in pajamas. That doesn't help either. Or posting photos of my pets or other things. That doesn't help. So, how do I demonstrate authenticity in a way that's relevant to what I'm doing and to the business and to the service that I'm wanting to offer and the actual impact that I can have if we were going to work together? So there are so many steps that I just never realized. And then that's just the early stages. But then how do you make an offer that really connects with someone that, like you mentioned so beautifully, that people need to see themselves in an offer, people need to see themselves in a post, and gaining trust and demonstrating value and speaking to an actual transformation that people can achieve. So now when I look back, it so makes sense. Of course, nothing worked for me, no matter for how long, because it wasn't the right pieces that were coming together. So that's one of the things that just blew me away when I saw, oh my gosh, we already have 14 people that have registered. Like, I am just can't wait to share all these things with them because I know the road. I know it's a really long one, and that we have found the shortcut, and I want to help people get there without so much agonizing pain of
Mhm.
this is not working. I'm ready to quit. Nobody sees me. All of those things. Like, we've been there, we've done that. You don't have to go through it.
You said something that made me laugh. Like, how hard could it be? I remember, I kid you not, I had written all out. I had a beautiful plan. Like, I'm gonna work only on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm gonna work with 5 clients each day. So that means I'm gonna only work like 15 to 20 hours a week, and I'm gonna make this much money. And I was like, that's good. What's gonna happen? And then it didn't happen. And I think that a lot of us have this idea of the amount of clients we're going to have, of the amount of money we're going to make, and then it doesn't happen that way. And that just showed me like it's it's a lot more complicated than we think it is, but it's also a lot more simple than we realize. And for me, I finally realized that it's like, okay, we need one message for one person at the right one time. And so that became the premise of everything that I do, where it's like I'm meeting the right person at the right time with the right message. And when we can do that, we start to have an impact that we didn't plan for. Because I think a lot of us, when we jump into this game, we're thinking too much about ourselves. We're thinking about this is what I want, this is what I look for, but not how can I serve this person in front of me? How can I meet them where they are? Because that's all that really matters. And so for this challenge, yes, at the moment we only have 14 people, but I know it's going to keep growing because people are going to see the value of branding and messaging and how those things come together to bring those aligned clients.
And also, today, like, there's so much stuff you can get for free and so much knowledge out there. But, like, what's the right sequence of applying all this stuff? Because I bet everyone has already done some type of freebie webinar or something they downloaded a PDF. But so many times, like, I had the knowledge, but I didn't know, well, should I apply this first or that one? How do they fit together? And also, for how long? I couldn't you can't read the label from inside the jar. Like, there are things that I knew, and I was even advising my first clients to do, but sometimes I didn't even realize that I wasn't applying it to myself until I had someone in the weeds with me that said, oh, wait a minute, this landing page, here's why it's not working. Wait a minute, this post, you're missing the mark because XYZ. So having someone in the weeds that really shows you that and brings all of that knowledge step by step and holds you accountable to, hey, this is how you check that you've graduated this level. This one you've mastered. Let's go to the next one. This is what you need to do, and map it out step by step. And something else that you mentioned around wanting to help people and have an impact, I was so blown away. Literally, last week someone that just said yes to working together. It blew my mind that she said, "Today is one of the happiest days of my life because I finally get to work on my purpose."
Mhm.
Like, this is what it's really about, is all that treasure that you've been, using in some other way, or it's been locked away. You get to open that, you get to access that. But then the question becomes, how do I take it out of me? How do I put all this out into the world to where you do create the impact, not just for one person, but for many, and have a foundation in place that you can build on for the next few years? So we're never going to say, join us to make $1 million in the next 3 months or anything outrageous like that. I don't believe in overnight success. I don't know anyone who had overnight success. It's always that step by step that nobody sees backstage.
Mhm.
That's what we want to help you build solidly. And you can build your confidence on that and your business on that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I see every step that we take as us just planting those roots a lot deeper and deeper and deeper. And I think that so many people rush the process. You mentioned about like the different steps in the right order, right? But I think one of the major reasons why we don't take the right steps or why they're in the wrong order is because we rush. We think that we have to speed up the process. We have to do this now and then do this and then do that, and we forget that we're planting roots. And when those roots are really, deep 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 in the soil, that allows it to grow, higher and higher and higher. The deeper the roots, the higher the tree goes or the plant grows. And so for me, that's what I'm excited for. It's the fact that, like you said, we're not teaching you how to have overnight success. We're giving you the real foundation. We're giving you the real roots so that when you finally sprout out of the ground, right, you are able to produce that fruit that you were always meant to have. And so